We are live now.
Awesome. It's 9 a.m. and this is the Southgate Community Fund Management Committee meeting of July 8th. Welcome, everyone. Oh, and we'll just wait for Carl to connect by audio. I'll call the meeting to order. Could I get a mover and seconder to confirm the agenda as presented? Monica, Joan, any opposed? That is carried. Welcome, Carl. Can you hear us okay? Good. Declaration of pecuniary interest. Hearing none, I'll remind everyone that they can declare it at any time should something arise throughout the meeting. Adoption of the minutes. Could I get a mover and seconder to adopt the minutes from May 13th? Carolyn and Monica. Any errors or omissions or discussion required? Any opposed? Seeing no hands, that is carried. Staff updates, none. We'll move on to 7.1, the Neighborhood Small Grants and Spring 2024 Community Grants Recipient Announcement, Stuart Reid. And Marianne, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll just introduce Marianne almost to the group. Marianne is our new Grants and Donor Relations Coordinator at Community Foundation Grey Bruce, and she began with us in early June and jumped right on board the train, and we're so happy to have her with us. So she's joining this morning, and I'm happy to share some of the results of granting. I might pull up on my screen if I can, Holly, the successful recipients of the small neighborhood grants. And we were also really pleased to receive two community grant applications from Southgate as well. Wondering if you can see that on your screen.
No, not yet. There we go.
There we go. So, and thank you for the members of the advisory committee who were assisted with the adjudication of the incoming applications. And there were 6 successful groups that received between $300 and $500 for various projects locally. So we're really thrilled with this result. And I want to thank each of the committee members for helping us spread the word about the opportunity for small neighborhood grants. And I think it's also a little bit of leap of faith that this committee's undertaken, because it's something new for the Community Foundation. And we're really thrilled with this activity and the partnership with the township in helping us distribute these small neighborhood grants. And I know that the talking about the model to other community fund representatives at the recent Ambassador Forum meeting, it's something that a lot of other communities are very interested in. So thank you for being the brave trailblazers and for supporting this initiative. And I'm really pleased to see the types of organizations that are going to receive funding in your community. And, it's kickstarting all kinds of wonderful community and neighborhood initiatives that are going to bring people together and really foster the sort of belonging and inclusion that builds for a healthy and resilient Southgate. And so I hope you're as proud as I am of this list. So we have the Cowtown lunch brunch for $400, providing free meals for seniors. The Dundalk Southgate Community Block Party Committee is receiving $500 for bringing together the community members. This event fosters a cornerstone for fostering trust, promoting safety, and building old and new community members in this Dundalk neighborhood. So we're really thrilled about that one. The Dundalk Santa Claus Parade Committee received $500. So that's supporting that wonderful holiday event. Dundalk Southgate Pride received $500, and we supported some of the children's activities that took place at the beginning of the day, including materials and supplies for those activities. The King Edward School Reunion Committee received $396. So there was that was supporting a gathering of people, a presentation dinner, and some social time at Dundalk Legion Hall. And I'll flip to the next page. The Southgate Community Connection received $500, and that was a food sustainability activity feeding 100 people each month, and providing some more supplies in their kitchen so that they're better able to do their work in terms of food preparation and dispensation. So that was a total of $2,796 that we were able to distribute. And the other two grants on the screen are, and these are available on our website to the public, part of our spring granting information. The Dundalk District Ag Society received a grant of $375 for enhancing leadership and governance and risk management practices at their society. So internally increasing capacity in that organization. And the Friends of Dundalk Library, for their children's literacy and digital literacy at the library, received $3,000, assisting families in helping their children to learn to read and bridge the gap in the digital divide. So really a progressive literacy project that's going to benefit families in the area too. So a really robust and diverse group of projects, and yeah, kudos again to the committee for supporting this, and we make this list available to you to share and to talk about in the community, and hopefully we can promote, and if we repeat, we'll hopefully have the same number of applying agencies and the same amount of interest, because this was a very successful run. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any about anything on the screen.
Wonderful. So I can't see everyone on the screen. Oh, maybe I can if I just make, oh, there we go. Stop sharing your screen and then everything is back on. Are there any questions from the committee? I don't see any hands. Stuart, do we know, or will they reach out to inform when the dates and locations of these events are confirmed so that the committee, if available, can, support their initiative? And what is the requirement for the storytelling piece that is so critical?
So each of the successful applicants is required to file a report when they complete their project. And the report includes narrative about the terms of their project, and we ask for photos as well. We could, in terms of the timing and dates and things, Marianne and I could probably mine the applications and send the committee a little note about upcoming events. And I agree with you. I think that's wonderful, and we'd love to show up and support them, and maybe promote the community fund at those events as well as a supporter.
So through the chair here to Holly, would that be something that, because they're receiving a neighborhood small grants, that our communications team might be able to help push out through social media when, as the event is coming up?
Yeah, I certainly think so. If Stuart wants to send us a list, I can pass it along to communications, because they are granted through the township, and I'll have a brief conversation, but I don't foresee it being an issue.
Thank you. All right. Any discussion? Well, congratulations to all of the recipients. That is an amazing first year, and the more storytelling we can do, the more we can draw people in to know about the fund as well. So great. That's awesome. Marianne, how do you spell your last name?
Oh, Almas, A-L-M-A-S.
Just as it sounds. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, that is great news. I'll go back to the agenda. Holly, do we need a resolution to receive the update for information?
Yeah, we can definitely get one.
And then could that list be, is that list shareable, Stuart, to the
Yes.
minutes? That'd be awesome. Thank you. All right. I need a mover and seconder to receive the list of, I don't know, the report as outlined in the heading there. Heather, and a seconder. Monica. Any further questions or discussion? Any opposed? That is carried. 7.2, Ambassador Forum update. That's you again, Stuart. And I think you're
Okay.
going to share your screen again.
Yeah, let me try that. I'll share my screen. I thought I would, oh, that's the old file.
I think that's the
Are
one
you
that's
seeing
on
the
our.
first screen?
Mhm.
Yep.
I'll try it one more time. Whoops, sorry. I've got two screens in front of me, so I'm not sure if I'm which one I'm sharing. Here, try this one. Can you see that?
Yep. Yes.
So I thought I would just uh, give you a brief run through of some of the highlights of our Ambassador Forum. Thank you so much, Barbara, for attending. And it was late late spring, early summer date, and we had a small but robust crew that showed up at Harmony Center for our Ambassador Forum, and it was wonderful to take people through some of the highlights of the Foundation's year. And the Ambassador Forum, we really try and share resources and news with the ambassadors about what's been happening and giving them some talking points to work within their community when they're out and about and talking about the activities. So we started off with a land acknowledgement. We always acknowledge the people of the three fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, Potawatomi, and the Chippewas of Nawash and Chippewas of Saugeen, who are traditional keepers of the land on which the Foundation does its work, and we live and work and play. We had an opening icebreaker where we went around the circle and asked people what they were looking forward to in the summer in Grey Bruce, and we heard lots of wonderful things about local festivals and Katy Market and swimming and canoeing and a real celebration of the wonderful life we enjoy in Grey and Bruce. And then an agenda, I'm just, and I'll move through these slides quickly, but I think they were supplied to you, so I hope you've had a chance to look at them. I talked a little bit about the strategic plan that we just passed, a little bit about strategic impact investing, which I think you'll find interesting, some willpower campaign resources that we shared with ambassadors, and then a little bit about a progressive project we've been working over the last couple of years, offering a rent supplement to youth who are in housing precarity in our region. So the strategic plan, we worked with consultant Marilyn Struthers over the last year and a half on revising kind of the roadmap for the next 3 years for the foundation. We landed on 4 outcome areas as priorities: community impact, knowledge, relationships, and capacity. So those sort of concepts guided our work in formulating goals. So under impact, and I'll just read the leading goals. I won't get into the nitty gritty, but I think you have the detail on your slide. And some statements around each of these 4 pillars really are the bedrock of the plan. So we want to boldly utilize our assets, skills, and knowledge to support vibrant, healthy, and sustainable communities across Grey Bruce. And there are a number of and then knowledge is the second pillar. Learn about community well-being through listening and conversation. So that's a little bit different than previous plans. We're really trying to utilize our relationships to understand and to be more responsive to what the community says it needs and the priorities that it sets. The third pillar is relationships. So seeking equitable partnerships and innovative collaborations to solve complex community challenges. So we recognize in a lot of the things that we're facing that we learn about in terms of vital signs that might be community issues, that no one organization is going to be successful in coming up with a solution, and that it's through conversation and listening and bringing people around the table that need to be around the table that we work towards solving those issues. And in terms of organizational capacity, empowering our organization to be open and flexible to meet the evolving needs of our community. So we want to be prepared and nimble and adaptable, and small community grants is a great example of that, about trying new things and trying to find different ways of employing our assets to be most impactful in terms of community impact right across our region. And then each of those is supported by a number of individual articulated objectives. And so I hope you had a chance to read those. So those sort of form our work plan for the foundation over the coming 3 years. And many of them very ambitious, but there's some new gestures in this plan, because it really it's about that trust-based philanthropy philosophy, about trying to be really mindful of what we're learning through our relationships and our vital signs knowledge, and employing that to grant strategically, and to find, as I mentioned, innovative ways to deploy assets. So being open to change and adaptability in terms of what we do for communities. One of the ways we do that is through social impact investing, which is another new initiative. Social impact investing came about in the year before last, when our board set aside 1% of our total assets that we manage to be used as a social impact fund. So it means that we are investing locally. So as you know, we invest all of our assets with Jarislowsky Fraser in the global marketplace, but we're trying to bring some of that investment activity back to Grey Bruce, and to try and utilize funding in an innovative way to support organizations and social enterprise with lending, with grants that are helping them do what they do very well, and increasing social impact. So while this fund is invested and making a return, it might not be at market level, but that's because we see other community impact derived by that investment. So social enterprise is a great example where we support an organization that has a lot of community programming and activity, maybe helping them access funding that they couldn't do through commercial means. And the foundation would strike a deal to derive a small amount of profit. We still have to make money with our assets, but we're also deriving a great deal of impact and forwarding our goals through the lending activity. So some of the projects that we've entered into over the last couple of years, community bonds are an investment strategy. So we invested in a community bonds program to support affordable housing in the region, and that's through Habitat for Humanity. So a lending from our social impact investing fund. We purchased the bonds, so the money comes back to us at the end of a certain period of time with an interest. And while we're doing that, we're supporting more capital to build more affordable housing units for people in the region. And we also entered into a mortgage situation with Harmony Centre in Owen Sound, where we hosted our Ambassador Forum and AGM. And Harmony Centre is a wonderful social enterprise providing space for performing arts organizations and a place for people to come together. And so we are holding the mortgage on the building for them to as a bridge till they make other arrangements, and we're really happy to be supporting that institution, that lending, and the activity that they provide with that loan. And as I mentioned, social enterprise. So the meeting place in Tobermory was in need of some capital to start a sustainable transportation project, offering an e-bike program for tourism in the area, but also supporting regional seasonal workers to get back and forth from home to work with an e-bike as well. And so we are really thrilled about that. And it kicked off July 1st. The e-bike program is available in Tobermory. So quite an innovative initiative that has a lot of community give back, green transportation, and a new alternative for people visiting the Tobermory area and the national parks, and maybe less cars on the road. People also getting access to areas that may not be accessible by car, but utilizing the trail networks as well. And lots of positive spin from that activity as well. Willpower, and you've heard me talk about this before in previous meetings, is a national campaign of the Canadian Association of Gift Planners aimed at convincing Canadians to utilize their will in a philanthropic way by making a gift to a charity in their estate planning. And the campaign that we're participating in is nationwide, and I hope you've seen an advertisement or heard an ad or a TV commercial about the initiative. And Community Foundation Grey Bruce has a page on the website for Willpower, and we promote what we do there and how we use gifts and what the impact of giving to the Community Foundation is. There's some video on that site. And there's also some tools that people can use if they want to explore what it could mean for them and their family. So there's a gift calculator that you can utilize on the Willpower site to plug in the number that you're considering giving and what sort of form it is, and it filters the benefits through the provincial and federal tax laws to show you the benefits that you could afford by making such a gift from your estate. There's also some quizzes just educating people about how your will can be a really powerful tool, and also trying to reinforce the message that you can give back to community without taking money away from your heirs, because there is great tax benefits in many cases, capital gains avoidance and such, that you can build into your planning so that you're giving to charity, but you're also saving taxes, and it might mean less burden on your estate and your heirs by making that philanthropic gift. So we also link people with, there's a way to look at local financial advisors that people might want to speak to about their estate. And yeah, just a great resource. And I'm really pleased to say that we've heard some wonderful statistical success stories about willpower. When before it began, there were only 5% of Canadians had made a gift in their will, and the most recent data shows that that's shifted to about 8%. And so we don't know that that's directly attributable to willpower, but people are learning and considering that mode of giving in their estate planning. We're really thrilled about that. This is one of our print ads that we've been using locally as well. So we're reinforcing that notion that you can give to both. You can remember your community as well as your family and in your planning. And we're encouraging people to do that. That's a screenshot of the gift calculator. So that helps you walk through some of the arithmetic about how your gift is going to have impact. And there is a collaborative, whoops, there's a little video. Well, I'll show you the video. Can you hear that too? No. Barbara says, no, you can't hear it. So there's some video. I encourage you to go to the Willpower site. It's right on our homepage, and it's willpower.ca. And if you search for charities on the page, just put in Grey Bruce and we pop up right away. If you're interested in exploring, maybe you know somebody that's at that stage and you want to share some resources, that's what those links are for. And I wanted to talk a little bit about one other project we've been doing over the last couple of years, and it's as I mentioned, a rent supplement project. It comes out of our Vital Focus on Housing report released in 2022, and that report had some very amazing numbers in it that talks about the housing crisis that not just Grey Bruce, but all of Canada is experiencing. And there are people in our community who are very vulnerable and in housing precarity. We had an opportunity to partner with another philanthropic organization and some community partners. So we brought people around the table to talk about how we could make use of dollars and to see if we could change life trajectory through an income supplement. The Laidlaw Foundation was one of our partners, and we landed on the age group of youth who are between the ages of 16 and 24, who perhaps are coming out of care and aren't old enough yet to get on OW, and are really in need of some support to keep them housed during those precarious years. And we wanted to create a project that was additive, so that would dovetail with initiatives that were already underway. We didn't want to step in and tinker with the great work that organizations are doing to service these young people, but how do we layer something on top that is beneficial, that we could learn a little bit about income supplement and its impact. And so, the housing, we all know that poverty is a widespread issue. Housing prices are increasingly high, especially rents locally. Youth were dealing with a perfect storm, not just housing, but with mental wellness, addictions. Human trafficking has been named as another concern in our region, and that youth who are in a certain age gap and kind of fall between the cracks. As I mentioned, we wanted to integrate life experience into the design of what we were doing. So we wanted to hear from people in the cohort about how they're doing. And we've made changes to this program over the 2 years based on what we've heard back from the participants. And we want to try and change life trajectory, so long-term alleviation of poverty for the young people that we're engaging with. I'll just move through these quickly, sorry. So we've been doing that for the first year. We offered a rent supplement of $250 to a cohort of 12 youth who were known to the YMCA housing services through the by names list. So people that were experiencing or at risk of homelessness. And it was really successful. We had a couple of youth who graduated out of the program with the rent supplement. It really helped them out, and they were able to find meaningful employment and come out of the program. We also heard about how the youth were really impressed that somebody other than government valued them enough to give them a gift. So the philanthropic agencies, that was something new to them, that people in their community would actually care enough to give them validation and support. We also heard that even though it's only a couple of $100 for each of the individuals, that it had a trickle-down effect, and it really increased their sovereignty and choice making in their situation. They had a little bit of extra money because of that supplement that was supporting their housing. So they had some choices. Somebody could go out for a piece of pizza with a friend that maybe they couldn't do before. And we also learned that a lot of the youth in the first cohort, many of which were experiencing their first home away from their guardians. And so they also needed other types of wraparound services related to life skills and tax support and just how to maneuver that first time living away from guardians. So the wraparound services were very important, and the YMCA does offer a lot of support that way. We've been making a call to action as well. We broadcast a little bit about this project through social media, our last year's report to the community, and we encourage people to support it by a gift to our Next 25 fund, which has funded it directly over the last 2 years. So we are continuing to broadcast that call to action, and our goal is to get more storytelling from the participants so that we're better able to tell people about the impact that a gift on the credit card, for example, once a month might make in changing, a life story of a young person in our community. So a really compelling message. And then at our Ambassador Forum, we had updates from the community funds. They weren't all represented, but we had Barbara from Southgate, a couple of reps from Grey Highlands, and also some reps from the Owen Sound Fund who shared a little bit about what's been happening with them over the last year. It's always great for peers to come together and hear about what's been going on. And as I mentioned earlier, the small neighborhood grants was a real topic of conversation, and a great deal of interest was shown from the other community funds that were present. Then we wrapped up the forum with some testimonials from recent grant recipients. We showed a video from Earth Day. We heard from Beth Aubrey, who's the ED of Big Brothers Big Sisters Grey Bruce, about some of the projects that we've supported with community grants, another video there. And we also had some statistics from the One World Festival, which had just completed a couple of weeks before in Owen Sound. We supported them with a community grant. They ran a lot of programming for youth and celebrating diversity and inclusion. These activities took place at the Tom Thompson Art Gallery, the Market Square, and in front of the library in Owen Sound. And there were some great numbers about people who attended, and the breadth of practice for the One World Festival, which was a great success. So that was the Ambassador Forum, and it was a great day, and we followed it up with our AGM afterwards. So we had people for a whole afternoon and kind of completed our summation of the foundation's business over the last year, with community funds figuring prominently in that celebration as well. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any about anything I've shared.
Are there any questions from the committee? Carl?
Stuart. So I work in Listowel, which is part of Perth County, and the United Way in here in Perth is very active in community bonds and housing. Just curious how the foundation works with United Way or other social services around some of the work you're doing in housing and other social development.
We work very closely with our colleagues at United Way. The United Way and the Poverty Task Force, Grace Bruce, are both represented on our Vital Signs Committee, and they're at the table on the Poverty Alleviation Project, helping youth in transition as well. And so, yeah, we're always in conversation, and I think it's a great strength in Grey Bruce to have a really great collaborative relationship between the Community Foundation and United Way. It's a very fertile partnership.
Great. Are there any other questions, comments? Monica.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to make sure you can hear me. Okay, good. Okay.
Yep.
So I just had a few comments and a quick question. I just wanted to thank you through you, Chair, to Stuart for such a comprehensive, wonderful presentation. I just find that some of the noteworthy comments that I found regarding the strategic plan, so the focus on deep community impact and broad community knowledge, is very commendable. I also wanted to touch on the social impact investing, community bonds, holding mortgage, and social enterprise based on your slide 13 to 16, that diversifying investments into social impact and community bonds is very forward-thinking strategy. So I was really, really excited to see that. And also the feedback from the youth is encouraging and highlights the positive impact of community involvement. So again, a very wonderful presentation. One last comment, and then my question would be that for project goals, just integrating lived experiences into the project design demonstrates respect for the community knowledge and innovation. So excellent presentation, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably going to go through it again. With regards to testimonial, this is the question from grant recipients. Is wonderful. I always believe that stories really touch the core of people. And I believe that this is such a great committee and foundation, what's being done here. Just wondering how we could, and you probably may not be able to answer it now, but how can we better publicize these success stories to highlight the foundation's impact and utilizing the different platforms that we all may have to kind of, highlight that even more into the public?
That's a great question, Monica, and thank you for your comments on the presentation. And I think that we want to work very collaboratively with Southgate and you guys on spreading the word. And you may have ideas about things that we could be doing better or more effectively. We really utilize press releases and our website and social media. And we also have media partnership with some radio advertising and things. So we try and get the word out as effectively as possible. But I agree with you. I think storytelling is golden. And when people hear stories about what's happening in the community based on philanthropic activity, yeah, we want to spread the word. So we're always open to hearing, if you guys have ideas about how we might be better, more effective in doing that in Southgate or across the region, we want to support and work alongside you to get the word out.
Thank you, Stuart. Are there any other questions, comments? Well, I can certainly speak to having attended the Ambassador Forum. It was interesting to hear from other committees. And I think we might be able to learn from how Grey Highlands has established their community fund committee so that we might be more involved in the process by becoming perhaps a committee of the Community Foundation as opposed to a committee of council. But that's something that we can certainly explore. I know, Carl, you had mentioned some time ago one of the reasons you joined was to ensure that our funds remain local, and that I think through this neighborhood small grants, that is certainly a great pilot project. And hopefully as we get the word out and tell those stories, there'll be more grassroots organizations benefiting from our fund. All right, well, thank you very much. We need a motion to receive the presentation on the 2024 Ambassador Forum for information. Carolyn and Monica, any opposed? That is carried. Correspondence, we have one about the Community Foundation Grey Bruce fiscal year-end fund statement. Stuart, did you want to elaborate on that?
Just very brief. Sometimes our statement of activity can be a little confusing, but and I know you received this in your agenda package today, but it's a great narrative when you look at it. We started off the beginning fund balance, and then there was a large contribution from the township in 2023. You can see that there. And then the revenue share was substantial as well. We had a wonderful market year. We didn't grant last year, but that's why we were trying this experimentation with neighborhood small grants. So the money was maintained in the fund, and we ended up with a substantial increase in the balance at the end of the year. So I hope that arithmetic is kind of obvious to you when you read through the statement.
Yeah, it is amazing. And certainly that large contribution was because we missed a year. But I'm glad that through Akash confirming that requirement, we got that all sorted out, and we're on track now. Just an FYI, our new CAO is Dina Lundy, Lundy, Dina, Dina, just to update your records. Mr. Milner retired in 2023. Was it 2022? I can't even remember now. 2023. It was 2023. The year has been a blur. But this is great news. And I'm wondering, are there options through the Community Foundation, through our contributions, of directing funds to that social enterprise, the housing piece, if there was local housing initiatives? Or I'm just wondering, it goes into a fund, but we now have the neighborhood small grants. It's a very healthy account now. As you said, Stuart, previously at the forum, we're in a very healthy fund compared to other community funds. Can you elaborate on some other options that the township might consider?
Well, just reinforcing the concept that Southgate, by investing at the Community Foundation, is participating in social impact investing, because that money we're utilizing for that fund is drawn from every fund that we manage, is sharing a small portion with social impact investing. And please talk to, if you know of agencies that might benefit from a relationship like that. We want to spread the word, and anyone from Southgate to Tobermory to Kincardine to Town of Blue Mountains, they're eligible to come to us to talk about social impact investing and maybe apply. We'd like to know about that. So I'm not sure if I'm answering correctly, but you're already participating with the fund. This is the social impact investing is an investment strategy rather than endowment, so it's a little bit different. But if Southgate wanted to get engaged, we could talk about that further about how that might look.
Okay, thank you. All right, we need a motion to, Carl.
Right. So is there still additional contribution from the township in 2024, or is that have we reached the end of the commitment?
No, I will go and I'll come to Joan and then Monica. Akash, if I'm not mistaken, our commitment from council was $30,000 for 5 years for a total of 150,000. So we would have 24 and 25 left.
That is correct.
Yeah. Joan and then Monica.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Stuart, just a quick question. Do you have a budget for the Neighborhood Small Community Grant? Say, for example, you have 100 people apply and they all have very good reason, very good things that they're putting on in the community. Do you have a budget or everyone would be granted? What figure you work with on a yearly basis or during the granting period basis?
So this year, Joan, our budget was limited. We spent the money that was available from the Southgate Community Fund on small neighborhood grants. So there may be other community funds that are opting to participate in future, but we would discuss at this committee, as we did last year, about the how much the committee wants to invest in small neighborhood grants as opposed to community granting. As the fund continues to grow, you've got more granting power, so there's more decisions to be made about that partitioning.
Thank you.
It's a good question, Joan. If I might just explain it a little, how I understood it. Our fund is invested and the interest it earns annually is the amount that we are able to grant out. So we never touch the principal investment. Monica.
Hi, yes, thank you. Just through you, Chair. I'm not sure if this is for Stuart or for Deputy Treasurer, but it's just with regards to the administrative fee that I noticed that's happening quarterly for the 1.5%. I do believe that this report has a lot of great positives. Just to moving forward and having the encouragement for those to apply and all these things. Was there any possibility to reflect to see if there would be a possibility to reduce the cost?
Perhaps I could
Go
address
ahead,
that.
Akash. I think.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I would prefer Stuart to take this one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. So the administrative fee is, as you're right, Monica, it's 1.5% on, and that's through our policy. It's the way we keep the foundation administration office open and supporting all the activity with our staff and activities at the main foundation office. And it is levied to every fund we manage, so it is a fixed cost that occurs on every fund statement that we issue. So we are in keeping in step with the standard of administration fee that I believe community foundations right across the country are levying. Actually, we're a little low. A lot of our peers have moved to 2% over the last couple of years. So we right now we're sticking with the 1.5, which we've done since inception back in 1994.
Just a quick response to
Go
that.
ahead.
Thank you. Yes, so thank you. That was actually my very next question was, how do these fees compare to similar foundations? So thank you for explaining that and for mentioning that it is standard and actually lower than others. So great to know that information.
Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Are there any other questions? So we had a mover and seconder, I believe. Holly? No, we need a mover and seconder to receive this for information. Joan and Carolyn? Any opposed? That is carried. Okay, we can go to the agenda. I think we're getting close to the end here. Members' privilege. I don't have everything on my screen for some reason. There we go. Anyone wish to, Monica?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just wanted to congratulate, for the wonderful ambassador forum. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, but I'm so happy that our chair, Deputy Barbara DeBreen, was able to attend, and it looked like a really special time. So congratulations again. And if there was any other events that are coming up, looking forward to hearing more about those and seeing how we could all participate and support.
Any other member, anybody else want to? Okay. The next meeting is scheduled for September 9th at 9 a.m. via Zoom. I need a mover and seconder to adjourn. Heather and Carolyn, or Carl. I got Carolyn. Thanks, Carl. Any opposed? That is carried. Thank you all very much. This is an exciting, we've got an exciting time coming up as we learn more from our neighborhood small grant recipients. And we'll look forward to receiving those dates and information, Stuart.